Did you know that over 1 in 7 children worldwide experience some form of neglect or abuse each year? For so many, these scars linger for a lifetime. I know because I've been there. But let me tell you this, it is possible to overcome those odds. Today, I'm sharing how I rose above the pain of neglect and abuse, and how we can change the narrative, not just for future survivors, but for future generations, with something I believe could be a game changer. Hi everyone, my name is Mike, and today I want to talk about something deeply personal, my journey of surviving child neglect and abuse. It's a story of pain, but more importantly, it's a story of resilience, hope, and finding purpose. I've spent years reflecting on my experiences, and while it wasn't easy, I've come to realize that our past doesn't define us. We have the power to rewrite our stories and to help others do the same. That's why I'm here, and why I've created a project I think could truly change the way we address these issues. Child neglect and abuse are harsh realities faced by millions of kids every single day. For me, it wasn't just about physical neglect. It was the emotional absence that hurt the most. The feeling of being invisible, unwanted, and unworthy. As a child, I thought it was my fault. That if I were just better, quieter, or more helpful, maybe things would change. But no matter what I did, nothing seemed to be enough. Neglect isn't always loud or obvious. It's the absence of love, care, and safety. It's the silence at the dinner table, the empty praise, or the lack of protection when you needed it most. Abuse, on the other hand, leaves you with fear, guilt, and shame that can take years to untangle. The hardest part is that as children, we're wired to trust the very people who harm us, which makes breaking free from that cycle incredibly difficult. And here's the heartbreaking truth. As a society, we often don't act until it's too late. We see the signs, we hear the whispers, and yet we only step in after the damage has been done. Reaction is easy, prevention is hard, but it's the only way to truly beat the odds. Growing up, I consistently felt like I had to prove my worth to my parents, to others, and even to myself. I became a people pleaser, desperate for love and approval that never seemed to come. I told myself if I could just be perfect, maybe things would get better. But that wasn't the answer. No child should have to earn love. Love is something we all deserve simply because we exist. It was a pivotal moment in my healing journey when I realized it wasn't my fault. I was a child. I didn't choose to be neglected or hurt. That moment changed everything for me. It freed me from the guilt and shame I'd carried for so long. I started to see myself not as a victim but as a survivor. And more importantly, I realized that I had the power to create a different story, not just for myself, but for others too. But I kept asking myself, how do we stop this from happening in the first place? How do we protect children before they're hurt, before they become a statistic? That question became the driving force behind my work. After years of reflection, I realized something crucial. Most of the systems we have in place are reactive. Something terrible happens and we respond with sympathy, apologies, and sometimes even outrage. But what if we could prevent these situations before they occur? What if we could equip children and caregivers with the tools to recognize, resist, and report abuse before it escalates? That's where Guy and Cesar come in. These characters are part of a project I've been developing, a series of books and tools designed to educate and empower children and adults alike. Guy and Cesar are more than just fun, engaging characters. They're guides, helping children understand things like boundaries, trust, how to recognize manipulative behavior. The goal isn't to scare kids, but to empower them with knowledge in a way that feels safe and supportive. Through these stories and resources, we're addressing not just the physical and sexual abuse, but also the mental, emotional, and even subtle forms of manipulation like grooming. It's about creating a world where children feel confident to speak up, loud and clear, and also where caregivers have the tools to listen and act. This isn't just a project, it's a mission. I truly believe this proactive approach can change lives. Prevention takes effort, but it's the only way we can reduce the risks and stop abuse before it happens. Looking back, I see how far I've come, from a scared, lonely child to someone who has found strength and purpose in sharing my story. But my journey isn't just about me. It's about creating a future where no child has to endure what I did, where every child knows their worth and their voice matters. Guy and Cesar are just the beginning. Together, we can build a community that prioritizes action over reaction, focuses on education, prevention, and empowerment. It's not enough to say, "I'm sorry this happened." We need to say, "Let's make sure it doesn't happen again." If my story resonated with you, or if you believe in the mission behind Guy and Cesar, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, your experiences, or even just a message of support in the comments below. Your voice matters. It's how we create change. If you want to learn more about Guy and Cesar, or join the movement to protect children, check out my next video, where we'll dive deeper into tools and stories we're creating. Together, we can beat the odds and build a brighter, safer future.